Yeah, well, like I
But
said, he didn't
okay.
address any of the questions. He didn't answer why we're not building new shelters for the homeless. He didn't answer why there isn't actually um, services being offered to them. Like the missions in Ottawa on Murray and George, how many years old are they?
Yeah, I don't actually know.
Well, they're very old and falling apart, and they're not addressing the situation. It's like a band-aid fix.
Hmm.
You know, we here. I read an article in the Metro. $140 something wasn't in budget for a food bank. Now I don't know what politician was in office at the time, but the only thought in my head was the $3 scratch tickets dropped off in sales here. How is there not a lousy $140 something in a budget to keep a food bank open in the capital of Canada? Have any of these politicians ever been to a friggin' food bank? Probably not. How many of them actually think about the homeless issues?
I mean, I can tell you from personal experience that it is something that's on the minds of a lot of politicians. I can't answer your question about how many of them have been to food banks themselves, but if I've learned one thing from volunteering with food banks, it's that you get all kinds of people there who you wouldn't necessarily expect to see at a food bank. So I wouldn't rule
That
anybody
that's
out.
that's cool, but my point is, nobody, not even 20 years ago in office, said, we need to do something more for the homeless. The way this letter's worded is, since 2015, they committed $5.7 billion towards affordable housing. Is that number supposed to impress me? Like, I'm not uninformed, and I do know how to think critically. The government brings in billions of dollars a day, billions of dollars a day through lottery sales, liquor sales, tobacco sales, any type of sales. Like, this is a sham. Minimum wage, there's another issue I had a question about. Why are all businesses allowed to take advantage of that instead of just the small and medium businesses? Why is Canadian Tire able to hire an army of part time or full time employees at minimum wage? They can afford to pay more than minimum wage. Something's wrong with the system.
Hmm.
And I want answers to why the system's allowing it to move the way it does, where, the neglected still get neglected. The people that are uneducated can't get good paying jobs, so they'll stay in the, minimum wage, part time, full time jobs. Good luck. The social services and disability checks, all the politicians talk, we're going to raise it, we're going to raise them, but nobody's getting any extra on those. Oh, it goes up by $6 a month every 6 months. Big deal. Yeah, the social assistance check, well, from the friends I know on social assistance, the amount of the check itself doesn't even cover their rent. Their rent, they still got to get more to cover the rent, then cover the bills, then get money for food. But yet, we got politicians making a hundred and something $1,000 a month.
Hmm.
That's insane. It doesn't make sense. We're paying refugees to live in hotels that they're destroying and tearing apart, and the hotel managers can't even stay in business. But the mainstream media doesn't talk about none of this. The government doesn't admit that these problems are happening in our country. They act like, oh, we need more refugees here that are going to disrespect Canada.
I'd actually disagree with you pretty strongly in that
Hey, I
regard.
got refugee friends. I'm not saying they're all disrespectful. I'm saying the mainstream media is covering up the ones that are misbehaving in our country.
I see this kind of thing reported by the CBC, the Ottawa Citizen, all the time. I don't know quite what you mean by
Okay, so
covering
it
up.
was reported on here. All these refugees did all this damage. Are they being asked to leave? I saw a report where one couple was saying they don't really like Canada. They'd rather be back in Syria or Lebanon.
Hmm.
Well, go back then. Here's your plane
Some of them
ticket.
do. Some of them do.
Well,
Our local constituency office has helped with that
here's
in the
the
past.
part that breaks my heart. When I saw that couple putting down the housing that Canada gave them, was my thought in my head was a homeless couple could have been given that home instead of them.
Hmm.
Like, we're helping others before we're helping our own.
I see the problem as being really broad spectrum. I think, I mean, this is a personal opinion, but it seems to me very very counterproductive to
I've
say.
been homeless. I'm a Canadian citizen. I was born in the capital. I have family that shed blood in past wars, both the First and Second World Wars. And I've been homeless myself. And I know what's out there for help from the government when you're homeless. It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. And that needs a change.
I agree with you there.
And this is the first parliamentary office that's decided to try to help. That's my point. You guys are trying to act like, oh, we're the first ones to actually start to care about homeless issue, and we've invested $5.7 billion. That's nothing. That's not building shelters. You gave me a letter telling me you're going to build 60,000 homes for families that can't afford where they're living, but they didn't say anything about a new state-of-the-art shelter. That was the question. Why are we building a library instead of new shelters for our homeless population? That was my question. My answer was, oh, we're building 60,000 homes for families that can't afford where they're living currently, and libraries are going to be great for the community. They didn't answer why they're not building new shelters and doing things for our current homeless population.
So, again,
Listen, I know about the homeless population in Ottawa right now. You see some homeless people out there, but the majority of our homeless population right now is out west because the winters out there are much more mild. So they'll hitchhike out west during our winter months. Then they'll come back in the summer. In the spring and the summer, you'll see more homeless people on our streets in Ottawa. So my question is, what's going to happen when our homeless population returns home? Are they going to have a new shelter built for them, ready for them? No, they're not. Now, I'm disappointed. I'm a very unhappy Canadian right now. I need some serious answers from my government officials that are supposed to be technically paid by us taxpayers. So you're our employees. You're supposed to be affecting changes we want to see. I'm sure I'm not the only person that's had these issues in the past and currently, and nothing's really moving forward on any of these issues. I want to start seeing news reports about nonviolent pot offenders getting released, not how previous possession charges are going to be absolved by the government for free. Yippee ding dong. That's not very much. Anyways, what was your name? Madeline Gomery. Well, it was nice talking to you. Chris Chitteris, once again, my number is 613-282-9494. A letter is nice, but I do like a phone call, some actual verbal contact. Like, this letter seemed very generic. Like, it didn't, good afternoon, not dear, Mr. Christopher Chitteris. This is the answers to this. These are specific answers to the questions you were asking. No, good afternoon. Oh, okay, I'm just somebody. But they wrote my name on the envelope, but they couldn't put it at the top of the lettering, Anyways, very, very sterile letter from my government. Didn't really address it gave me half an answer to one of my questions. So I don't know who's going to get back to me on these, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep calling. I'm going to keep asking. I'll walk into MP's offices and start asking these questions. That something needs to be done. I want to know if a Canadian artist was even paid for those marble high fire hydrant sculptures on Richmond Road, or was it an artist from another country that benefited from that?
I really couldn't say.
No, I know, because
I'm happy to look into it.
Oh, please do then. I want an answer to that. I want to know what type of an artist was paid. Were they Canadian? Because that was my tax dollars spent. Nobody asked me if I wanted those hydrants, or us. I don't remember the general public being asked, do you want to see some fire hydrants with fireman boots on them up and down Richmond Road, or cameras, or marble sculptures of asparagus on the top of a fire hydrant? I don't remember the public being asked that. I just remember seeing them one day and going, who wanted those? And how much did that cost us? Okay.
If I had to... Okay.
No, go ahead. If you got a guess.
If I had to guess, that sounds like a BIA project. I'm not sure those were necessarily Government of Canada sculptures. They may have been a private venture by the business improvement area. I don't know that for sure, but I know somebody who used to work for the BIA out west in that area, and that's exactly the kind of project that they took care of.
Yeah.
So, again, I don't know who they commissioned to do those sculptures, but I don't think that was a case of the government necessarily coming in and
All right.
announcing street art. Anyway.
Yeah. See, my biggest problem is that where I see my government failing the most for the citizenry is in regards to always trying to reach in the pocketbooks of the citizenry to solve problems or get things done. There's so much money being made by the government on the OLG and the lottery in general all across Canada. The taxpayers shouldn't be burdened with anything anymore. This is ridiculous. I know for a fact they print up 14 million $3 tickets for one series of Kinos, and they give away 6 top prizes of 50,000, 6 top prizes of 5,000, 6 top prizes of 1,000, and the rest are chump change. Where's all that extra money going? How come it's not coming back into the community? How come food banks are getting shut down? How come homeless shelters are not getting built? This is insanity. I'm telling you, I don't know what's going to happen. I know the Lord didn't put us here to hate one another and destroy one another, but I know if I was a politician and I wasn't affecting some serious change for my citizenry, I'd be questioning my career. I really would. I'd be like, how am I getting paid all the money I'm getting paid, but I'm still seeing homeless people on the streets. I'm still seeing abused women not getting the help they need. I'm still seeing injustices happen. And I'm talking to my supervisors and my upper ups. I'm like, the nonviolent pot offenders should be released from prisons, and nobody's listening to me. I would go crazy.
Well,
I would also feel like I'm robbing the people I'm supposed to be representing. Like, I'm making $30,000 a month and I'm not really getting anything done for them. Their disability checks aren't going up. Their welfare checks aren't going up. Their minimum wage isn't going up. I'm not getting anything done for them, but I'm making all this money in Parliament. Fun job. I don't know. Just one Canadian's opinion. I'm not 20 years old, and I've been waiting for some change. I don't care if it's been the NDP, the Conservatives, you name the party in the office. They don't really do nothing for nobody. It's a bunch of lip service. This letter is a run around my questions. That's how much they care about me as a citizen. Here's half an answer to one of your questions, and the rest of the answers are just fluff. We're going to build 60,000 homes for people that can't even afford an apartment.
Mr. Chichuras, I'm really sorry, but we've been on the phone for 20 minutes, and I'm getting a lot of other calls into the office.
Wonderful.
Right now.